Hi class, today we will be discussing authentic leadership. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So what is authentic leadership? Well, we know that this is something that's fairly new that's being researched, and its main point is who you are as a person. If you're genuine, you're real, you're true to your core beliefs, your values, and whether you're being honest, right, to yourself and to others. It's also how transparent you are as a person. And as time has progressed, we've seen that there is a greater need for authentic leadership nowadays. And we could see this with the whole destruction of on 9/11, the unethical practices by companies such as WorldCom, Enron, fake news, and so much more. So there are multiple definitions and viewpoints to describe and identify an authentic leader. So today we'll only discuss the three main ones: the intrapersonal perspective, the interpersonal process, and the developmental perspective. So the intrapersonal perspective focuses on the leader and what is going on within the leader, right? And it's basically the self-knowledge, self-regulation, and self-concept within himself. And this perspective emphasizes their life experiences and the meaning that they attach to those experiences. And this is very critical in the development of who or what an ethical and authentic leader is. So the next definition of an authentic leadership is an interpersonal process. And this definition describes the authentic leader as rational, okay? And it's created by leaders and followers together, right? So the leader-follower relationship is strong and they go hand in hand, right? And it cannot be just one-sided. It has to be together. And authenticity emerges from the interactions between those leaders and followers. So it's a shared process in the relationship. And it basically affects both parties. The developmental perspective is something that can be nurtured within the leader. So it's not necessarily something that is fixed, it's a fixed trait, but it's something that can be learned. And this perspective focuses on authentic leadership being developed within a person over time, and it can be triggered by major life events. And these events could include a severe illness, a career change, the birth of a child, or the death of a loved one. In the developmental approach, authentic leadership has a pattern in the behavior, and it develops from and is grounded in the leader's positive psychological qualities and strong ethics, which brings us to the four distinct components of an authentic leader. And this is self-awareness, internalized moral perspectives, balanced processing, and relational transparency. So over time, authentic leaders can learn and develop each of these four types of behaviors. There are two different approaches to being an authentic leader. The first one is a practical approach. This is evolved from real life examples as well as the training and development literature. The second is the theoretical approach, which includes the basic findings from social science research. The practical approach, we'll discuss a little bit more of Bill George and his take on an authentic leadership approach. Now, he focuses on the characteristics of an authentic leader. And based on his experience and this research, he found that authentic leaders have a true desire to serve others, right? And they know who they are themselves, and they know their feelings, and they feel free to lead from their core values. And he suggests that authentic leaders demonstrate 5 basic characteristics. The first one is they have a strong sense of purpose. The second, they have strong values of what the right thing to do. The third is they establish trusting relationship with others. The fourth, they demonstrate self-discipline and they act on their values. And the fifth is that they are sensitive and empathetic to the plight of others. The theoretical approach is a widespread of unethical and ineffective leadership that necessitated the need for more humane, constructive leadership to serve the common good. And in this approach, researchers drew from fields of leadership, positive organizational scholarships, and ethics. Included in this theoretical approach, Wallumbwa defined authentic leadership as a pattern of leader behavior that draws upon and promotes both positive psychological capacities and positive ethical climate to foster a greater self-awareness, an internalized moral perspective, balanced processing of information, and relational transparency on the part of leaders working with followers, fostering a positive self-development. So, Wallumbwa defined authentic leadership, or the 4 different components of authentic leadership, which are a pattern of leader behavior that draws upon and promotes both positive psychological capacities and positive ethical climate to foster greater self-awareness, an internalized moral perspective, balanced processing of information, and relational transparency on the part of leaders working with followers, fostering positive self-development. So, the components of authentic leadership are the foundations of authentic leadership. Self-awareness, which refers to the personal insight of the leader. It is a process in which individuals understand themselves and including their strengths and weaknesses. Self-awareness includes reflecting on your own core values, on your identity, who you are, your emotions, your motives, your goals, what drives you, and just who you really are at the deepest levels. And it's just being aware of who you are and trusting your own feelings. Internalized moral perspective refers to self-regulatory process where individuals use their internal moral standards and values to guide their behaviors rather than allowing outside pressures to influence them or control them. And this is very unbiased for the leader, and this also originates from their core values. So they don't give in to outside pressures, and they don't let others influence their decision-making process. So balanced processing is also self-regulatory behavior, and this refers to an individual's ability to analyze the information objectively and explore the others' opinions before making a decision. And this also means avoiding favoritism about certain issues and remaining unbiased. Lastly, we have relational transparency, which refers to being open and honest and presenting one true self to others. So it's who you are truly, being transparent with others. And this means that an individual shares their core feelings, their motives, their goals, their aspirations, their inclinations with others in an appropriate manner. So factors that influence authentic leadership include positive psychological attributes, moral reasoning, and critical life events. And the 4 key positive psychological attributes are confidence, hope, optimism, and resilience. So confidence refers to having self-efficiency, and it's the belief that one has the ability to be successful and accomplish specific tasks. Here, a leader has confidence and it's more likely to succeed and be persistent when obstacles arise, and they welcome any challenge. Hope is a positive motivational state based on willpower and goal planning. So here, hope inspires followers to trust and believe in their goals. Optimism refers to the cognitive process of viewing situations from a positive light and having favorable experiences and expectations about the future. So here, leaders with optimism are positive about their capabilities and the outcomes they will achieve. And they also approach life with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. And lastly, we have resilience and the capacity to recover and adjust to adverse situations. And this includes the ability to positively adapt to hardship and suffering, bouncing back from something drastic. And during difficult times, resilient people are able to bounce back, like I said, and in these challenging situations, and they feel stronger and more resourceful as a result of those adverse situations. Next, we have moral reasoning, and this factor influences authentic leadership in the way that they make ethical decisions and issues based on the right or wrong thing to do, or the good or the bad. And this higher level of moral reasoning makes it possible for an authentic leader to make decisions aligned with their individual core values and for the greater good. So this enables them to make judgment calls and to serve others in the organization or their community better. And moral reasoning also enables authentic leaders to promote justice and achieve what is right for the community. So lastly, we have critical life events, which are major events that shape the authentic leader's life, their viewpoints, their values, and just how they approach a situation. And this means that there's positive events that happen, like receiving an unexpected promotion, having a child, or reading an important book. It could also have a negative event, which includes being diagnosed with cancer, getting a negative year-end evaluation, or experiencing the death of a loved one. And critical life events act as a catalyst for change. When leaders tell their life stories, they gain a greater self-knowledge of who they are, what they stand for. They have more clarity, and they understand what role they're playing in other people's lives. The critical life event also stimulates growth in an individual, and it helps them become stronger leaders. So how does authentic leadership work? Well, there's the practical and the theoretical approach. The practical approach provides a prescription for how to be an authentic leader and how to develop that authenticity. And George emphasized the 5 characteristics of what a leader should develop and how to become an authentic leader. And he advocates that leaders become more purposeful, value-centered, relational, self-disciplined, and compassionate. In the theoretical approach, it describes what an authentic leadership is and what accounts for it. So in this approach, a leader demonstrates self-awareness, an internalized moral perspective, a balancing processing, and relational transparency. It's also how a leader develops the attributes through a lifelong process that is often influenced by critical events. So in conclusion, what's an authentic leader? Well, it's a process that's very complicated, but it emphasizes the development of qualities that help leaders to be perceived more trustworthy, honest, and believable to their followers. And it's a leader's job to learn how to develop these qualities and apply them to the common good wherever he or she serves. For example, in my practice, I know that I try to uphold myself to be trustworthy, honest, organized, detail-oriented, and I try to gain the trust and build a relationship with my clients and with anyone that tries to reach out to me, as well as others that work underneath me. I try to give them guidance as much as I can and help them through whatever situation they find themselves in. I also try to listen to what they have to say, their opinions, and definitely try to be more open to others. As an authentic leader, I believe it is very important to be self-aware of your surroundings and to try to always be very transparent with others. What I really want to emphasize is that in the Bible, we see that there is an example of what an authentic leader is, and it's found in Philippians 2:3-11. And we see that the Bible teaches that Jesus himself gave us the best example of what an authentic leader is. And he did nothing out of selfish ambition. He was humble. He looked for the best interest of others, and he was self-sacrificing till the end. And Jesus was the ultimate authentic leader. He gave us the best example. He taught us how to be humble, how to serve others, how to look for the benefit of others, and he also taught us how to love. And if we bring that to our workspace, we will be blessed and bless others with that. We'll be set apart, and we'll have others wanting to know more of how to, I guess, use those traits for their lives as well, so it could be beneficial to them. And we also see in 1 Timothy 3:2, where it tells us that we need to teach others, and that we need to help others without reproach, and be clear-minded, and have self-control, to be respectable, and to be kind to others, and that we need to pass on our knowledge to others as well. So as an authentic leader, we need to have that ability to not only receive our knowledge, but pass that knowledge along to others.